Okay, so welcome to the first of about 6 training sessions on connecting using social media. But also I want to talk about a few basic stuff for maybe just beginning to share with other people, or for people who may be listening to the recording later on. You know, if they're just beginning, or maybe they have been away for a while and they've come back, and or maybe that they just want to step up to the next level. So I just want to remind you that during the recording, on the bottom left of your screen, the Zoom screen, there's a little microphone where whenever you speak, the green thing goes up and down. You can click that and it will put a red line through it, which mutes it. And then you can click it again, which unmutes it. So if you want to share at any time, you can unmute yourself there. Also, at the bottom there, the share screen you won't be using, because you won't be you know, set up that you can't do that unless you're the host, unless you're invited by the host to do that. But there is a chat box. So where it says chat, and if you click chat, the chat box will come up on to the right of the picture of who's speaking, and then you can chat, put a question in there, and you know, Mark will keep an eye on what's going there and say someone's asking a question. Okay, so I'm going to I think I'm going to share my screen now so that you can see something that I prepared for tonight, and I want to just go in and start it. Okay, so I'm going to move everybody down there. All right, so we're talking about how to use LinkedIn to connect effectively. But before we get into LinkedIn, I just want to talk about the basics of your Isagenix business. That is something that all of us need to be aware of and to be reminded of. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to talk about income producing activities and dealing with objections. Income producing activities are the things that you do that will directly put money into your account. Okay, there's lots of other things you can do, but there are only really 3 main activities that you're engaged in that will actually put money into your ISA wallet. Okay, and then we'll talk about dealing with objections. The second, next week we'll be talking about connecting, whether that's in person, on the phone, on Facebook, and specifically on LinkedIn. Third one, how to build an effective LinkedIn profile, what to do and what to avoid. The fourth one, how to connect with people on LinkedIn in an invitational, permission-based way. 5, what do you do when your people accept your connections? And the phone call, what to say and how to purposefully listen. And then following up after the phone call with questions and answers. So there's actually 7 sessions that we've got. So here's just a reminder of what we're about. As a company and as individuals, we're here to impact world health and free people from physical and financial pain, and in the process create the largest health and wellness company in the world. And that doesn't just mean the largest network marketing company, it means any health and wellness company, whether it's corporate or network marketing. So our incredible product systems, all of you who are on the call know that they work. There are thousands of people all over the world fall in love with our products. Why? That's because they work, and the results that people have are fast, they're safe, they're visible, and they're emotional. Okay, those are the things to remember. That's why we've had such success. And you know, there's real people, real results. I'm just going to quickly go through these. We've got doctors on here, we've got regular housewives, mothers, young people. Again, here we've got Mike that shows it's not just about weight loss, there's also an energy and a performance solution that we have. Healthy aging, 76-year-old Dr. Michael Colgan doing his work out there, you know, holding an Isagenix bottle and doing press-ups with one arm because he can. And it's because of our product line and the integrity of the company's founders and formulators that Isagenix has become one of the fastest growing network marketing companies in the world. Okay, and it's a big clue. Isagenix has created 210 millionaires since it started in 2010, and 45 of those millionaires were created last year in 2016. So we're in momentum. It's a legacy company, a company that does it right, and this month in March, it will reach 15 years of an unblemished track record. It's never been taken to court. There's never been any question about uncompromised products. There's never been any question about from the FDA or from Health Canada or any other health company, health authorities in any country. It's there, unblemished. And when Jim and Kathy Coover, the co-founders, say, if it's not right for the associates, it's not right for the company, that is a truth. It's not just a little motto that people say, it actually is the truth. Another plus, of course, with that company is 100% money back guarantee for the first 30 days. So session 1, income producing activities and dealing with objections. So income producing activities, they are connecting, following up, and enrolling. Basically, that's it. There's 3 main things that you do that will directly put money in your pockets. Now, it's so easy to get ready. And I know Greg and I had this conversation a while back. You do have to do preparation. You do have to get ready. And you know, you have to get an office ready. You have to get office space ready. But unfortunately, you see, sometimes we can use that as an excuse not to get started. And of course, that you can be getting ready, and the following 6 months later, you're still getting ready. And as people often say, all distractions are equal. If something is not helping you to fulfill your true purpose, it's a distraction. So keep your eyes on the prize. Really, really important to remember that. You have a goal, you fixed your goal, go for it, and let nothing stop you. And you know, there are going to be those people, some of them well-meaning people, who are going to destroy your dreams for all sorts of reasons. You know, friends and relatives are perhaps the worst ones. We don't know why that is. You know, maybe it's because they fear for you that you're going to fail, or maybe that they don't like the fact that you're moving ahead when it kind of shows that they're not, or whether it's jealousy, or whether it's just they just don't believe it, or they might be pessimistic. So society will sometimes, the people in the community will sometimes be objections for you. Guilt over not doing things right or not getting it perfect. Fear, they can all keep you away from the goals. Fear of being successful. First time I heard that was about 5 years ago, and I thought, why would you be fearful of successful? But it's because we don't know what to do with success sometimes. So, you know, all of these are normal fears, are normal things, but we don't want to let anybody steal our dreams. And you know what? If anyone is intentionally trying to sabotage you, the best revenge is success. Be successful, laugh all the way to the bank. And, you know, that will be the best way of, you know, showing people that you can do it. And if they wanted to, they can do it as well. So, you know, hold on to your dreams, don't let anyone steal them from you. So what does connecting mean? For income producing activity, IPA, a good connection means is that you have an actual appointment booked to get on the phone with someone or to see them face to face. Okay, that's what a good connection means. A connection, when you connect on LinkedIn, you are asking for someone to connect with you. And when they respond and they accept that connection, that's the first stage. That's good. That's going to lead to an actual appointment, because the whole point of LinkedIn is to try and get someone on the phone with you, get someone on Skype with you, get someone on Zoom with you. In other words, have a real face-to-face, ear-to-ear, belly-to-belly connection, if that's possible, at any time. Now that can be on the phone, as I said, it could be on Skype or Zoom or in person. Now, utilize a variety of ways of connecting. Don't just rely on one thing. Remember, we can connect anywhere and any time, whether it's in the grocery store, in a lineup, at the gym, you know, if we're curling or go to any other club, we're talking to people. And, you know, it's natural to share. And if you think about it, if you go to a restaurant and you have a really great meal and you love the restaurant, you tell people about it. If you see a movie, you know, how many times you say, oh, you should go and watch this movie. You know, it's natural. It's part of who we are as human beings. When we experience something really, really good, we want to share about it. Of course, there's a right way of sharing, and there are some wrong ways of sharing. So, you know, we want to share in a way that's not going to be pushy, not going to be trying to convince someone, not going to be trying to persuade someone. We're just going to share. Hey, I think I found something that may be of use to you. So face-to-face is really excellent. On the phone, Texting is another way of sharing with people and connecting. Video conferencing like Skype or what we're doing today, Zoom, and of course social media. And we'll be looking at social media a little bit later on, starting next week. Okay, following up is the next thing. So once you've sent some information, it's crucial to follow up with that person. You know, our job really is to get information in front of people. Once we've done that, we've done our job. But of course, if we leave it there, that's not going to produce income for us, and it's not going to help them. So in order to achieve the dual goal of helping a person move from where they are to where they want to be with their health or with their financial situation, we have to follow up. And it's crucial to do that in a timely manner. So the best thing to do is to book the follow-up appointment during your initial connection. So for example, if I make a connection with somebody and I make an appointment with them and I say, okay, if I was to send you this movie, when do you think you'd be able to watch it? And they say, well, what is it, Thursday night today? I can watch it over the weekend. Okay, when would that be, Saturday or Sunday? No, maybe Sunday. Okay, would that be Sunday morning, afternoon, or evening? Keep kind of getting them to commit. So they say, okay, I'll watch it Sunday afternoon. So now I'm going to repeat that so it really goes into their head, because I don't want to be in the business of chasing people up. I'm now, Mark and I and all of you, if you can have a posture, where you can have an attitude of a mindset that says, you know what, we've got something absolutely brilliant here, and you're going to be so lucky if you come into our team and have the same experience that I have had and we have had. So if you don't say that to people, of course, but if you can have that mental attitude, therefore you need to qualify people. And if you're going to have to keep chasing people to get an answer, can you imagine trying to work with that person? They're not going to be the people that are going to be in your team. They're not going to be, you're going to waste a lot of time and energy on people like that. So work with the people who will actually show up and turn up and be on time. It's really, really important. So it's really good to, to say, okay, so you're going to watch it on Sunday afternoon. So if I was to call you, say about 7 o'clock on Sunday, you will have watched that movie, correct? Yeah. Okay, great. I'll call you at 7 o'clock at this number, and that will be great. So I've now made that appointment before I've even sent the information to them. Okay? All right, so the next part, most enrollments take about 7 follow-up conversations. People usually give up after 2 or 3. Susan Sly, who, as we know, is a multi-millionaire with Isagenix now, she had 20, her sponsor, Deborah Kay, followed up with her 21 times before Susan finally said yes. And that was basically to shut the woman up and just do the product. And we all know what happened as a result of that. So, following up, Eric Worre talks about lead them to the next exposure. Because when I first heard about, well, after you follow up and if they don't come on at that point, what do? Keep saying the same thing? But when I read in Eric Worre's book, Go Pro, lead them to the next exposure, he explains that as, it could be send them another movie, invite them to look at a website, invite them to a webinar. Every week now, the Start Group for young people, they do a webinar that you can actually get your prospects or the people that you're sharing this with onto that meeting, and you can attend it with them and actually invite them around to your home and say, let's watch this together, it's going to be great. Information session, online opportunity meetings, they're there, the Experience Isagenix meetings, and we're going to be publishing all of the local events, and there's one in Aurora, Carol, coming up this in about 2 or 3 days, where you can take your guests. There's going to be some where you can attend physically, but there's always online as well if you're in a remote area. The 3-way conference call, an excellent way of exposing a person to the next exposure, if you like, or bringing people or inviting people to the next exposure to Isagenix, so that you're gradually getting those 7 in. You're more likely to get one. You keep on going, really. Keep on going until you get a firm no. When you say, look, I'm going to say to you, no, thank you. You say, thank you very much. And then you say, ask for referrals. You don't finish there, you ask for referrals. But you keep on going, keep on exposing them to the next opportunity or whatever it is, and until you get that no. And of course, one exposure could be an event. It could be an in-home party in your local area, or a Super Saturday in one of the big urban areas. So remember, don't become a tool, use the tools. And some of the tools we have are isomovie.com, your replicated website. Now, in the big training, like at the weekend at Red and White, they are, and even on the isogenicsbusiness.com, they are plugging using isoproduct.com. And up until recently, that was excellent. But Brock and I and Mark were having a conversation earlier on. Unfortunately now, there is a possibility, if you do your job really, really well, then you're going to send them to isoproduct.com and they're going to come back to you. But there is a possibility, there is a chance where they could click buy now on isoproduct.com and they could end up in someone else's team. So Brock and I were talking about this earlier on, and we said from now on, we're going to send our replicated website so that they can look at the products there. And then if they hit buy now or sign up and save, they will safely come into your team. There are very good reasons why Isogenics has done that, but I don't want to go into them now. Okay, so replicated website, brilliant tool. Your upline and crossline, this is why it's important to get to events, because, I made contact with two women on an escalator on Saturday, and got chatting with them. We're sharing information with one another. They're crossline, we're not financially linked, but I've already benefited from I didn't know there was an Isogenics Facebook group specifically for people in the UK. I didn't know that. But I've been joined to that because of the connection there. And I've also told them that when we go over to the UK in April, May, we will actually allow them to send their members to any function that we're going to do with our team so that we can help train them. So, working crossline that is a lot of fun. And of course, people upline to all of you. There's myself and Mark, of course, and there's Brock, Carolyn, Susan. These are all people that can are tools that we can use. I've never really been called a tool before, but I am a tool, Of course, the best tool is you. You are the best tool, okay? And of course, conference calls, like Dr. Einar Nozak has 1-3 times a week that you can get people on. Then training calls, there's one every morning at 10 o'clock for those who are not working. The Health, Wealth and Freedom call, Monday through Friday. Monday night, 8:30, Susan Sly's Team Success Global call. One Tribe in Action, Carolyn's call, I think it's Wednesday or Thursday. These are all great ways of using the tools that are going to help you to solidify that connection. Now, the third one, the connection, the following up, third one is enrolling new customers. So it's really important that when we do that, and we'll do a training session on this later on, for those of you who want to be reminded, it's important to start each person the right way. Because Jimmy Smith, the butcher, whose family has earned over $55 million in the last 10, 12 years, he says, build wide for show, it looks good, but build deep for dough. In other words, if you want money, build deep in your team. And the way you do that is by starting each person in the right way so that they start their people in the right way, and so it goes down in your tree, further down and down. When you've got people below you, like 3, 4, 5, 6 levels deep, all starting people the right way and teaching their people to do the same, you're going to have huge cycle growth, huge income opportunity there. So we set them up for success, and the way you do that is Susan Sly's 8 steps to launching a new customer. And we'll be posting that in the Happy Fit and Free group shortly. And the key to success in new network marketing is always duplication. If you can make something, if you duplicate something or make something or do something that is not easy to follow, it won't be duplicated and it will fall apart. Eric Worre says, the secret of success in network marketing is getting as many people as you can doing a few simple things over and over and over and over and over again. That's the power of duplication. Now let's talk a little bit about dealing with objections. So you can unmute yourself now. What are some of the objections that you come across when you try to share with people? Let's make it a bit interactive. So unmute yourselves and yell out, what have you come across when you try to share? What are the main objections across?
The biggest one I've met is cost.
Cost, yeah.
Don't have time.
Sorry?
I don't have time.
Time, yeah.
Is this a pyramid scheme?
Pyramid scheme, yeah. Those are the three main ones. Money,
That's right.
the cost. Time, I don't have enough time. Is it a pyramid scheme? Okay, I've only got 10 minutes. Mark, can you keep an eye on the timer? Okay, and the last one sometimes is how long do I have to be on this stuff? You know, how long do I have to be on this? You know, that's something that sometimes happens now for somebody. Yeah, that's right, it's working now. Okay, so two things to remember with the objection about money is that people spend more than they realize on what they put in their mouths. So they need to see the value of the isogenic systems and packs. So we're going to look at some ways of overcoming those objections. And you could always use a three-way call. If you get someone that has an objection, comes up and you're not sure or not comfortable with, just say, you know what, that is a great question to ask, or a great, you know, I understand what you're saying there. You know, would you get on, and I know someone who can help you with that. Would you be open to getting on a call with my business partner and, you know, hear what he has to say about that? Because he had the same objection and he overcame it. So what we need to do is just show them the cost of what they're doing now, financially and their health, of course. So I always now ask them, how long have you been doing that? Like, tell me, how much do you spend on a week on groceries for yourself? So they might say, well, maybe $80 a week, $70 a week. It's usually around that, 50, 60, 70. Okay, so that's 7 fours, that's 280. Let's say 50. So that's $200 a month. What about eating out? Well, maybe once a week. How much? Oh, $15, $20. So that's enough. So that's 280 right there. What about going to Tim's? Do you go to Tim's? Someone said to me the other day, oh yeah, every day. I said, really, what do you get? Oh, a coffee and a muffin. I said, oh, that's $3.40. How often? Oh, 5 days a week. Really? That's another $18, you know, right there and then. What about snacks? Do you buy cookies? Do you buy chips? You know, and you know, when they add them up, they usually are spending a lot more than they think. It could be 350, it could be 400. And then I say to them, so how long have you been doing that? Well, quite a few years. And then I say, and how have these habits served you? How eating that food, how has it served you? And suddenly they think, not very well. That's why I'm not feeling good. That's why I don't have any energy. So then we say, what if I could show you that you could actually get your health back and actually save money? Because our products don't cost as much as what you've been spending. You can actually save. So for example, you know, this is in 2008, this was a typical meal, groceries and eating out. The average American was spending about $539. That's about $18 a day, $6 per meal. With Isogenics, it's about $424 for the month. The $14 a day, $4.71. That was just an average. So based on that, you're saving $1.29 every meal, $3.87 per day, $116 a month, $1,392 a year. People don't realize how much they are spending on what they put in their mouth. So our 30-day system, what I then say is, okay, our 30-day basic system, which is on what I'm going to recommend to you, comes in 3 different ways: good, better, best. Which do you want to hear about first? So they'll say best, you know, maybe it's okay, the value pack, and I say what it includes, the full 30-day system plus a whole host of other wonderful products that's great to share with the family, breaks down to $20 per day. Next one, the premium pack, used to be called the Paysetter pack, breaks down to $15 per day. Free membership for both of those. Your own shopping cart for 1 year. I like to say your own shopping cart, they understand that. You know, a blender, you've got everything that you need there. And then there's a basic 30-day cleanse and fat burning system, which breaks down to about $10 a day. Is that doable? Which one of those do you think would fit your pocketbook, basically? Okay. That deals with the objection of money in a certain way. Now, objection of time. Now, this could be a product user. So I then say to them, I usually, when they say, you know, well, yeah, I just don't have time to do that stuff, I said, well, how long do you spend preparing breakfast in the morning for yourself? Well, what do you have for breakfast? Well, might be cereals and maybe toast. I said, okay, so you've got to get the cereal, you've got to get the bowl out, you've got to pour that into there, you've got to add the milk, sugar if you have that. And you've got to take the bread out of the wrapper, you've got to put that in the toaster, and off you go. Then you've got to spread the butter or the jam that you have on there, and you sit down. Oh, and you're going to have a cup of tea, right? How long is that? Our system is convenient and actually saves you time. And the other thing is, with our system, you don't waste anything. If you think about it, when you purchase your Isagenix system, whatever it is, do you use everything in those containers? Just nod if that's true. You don't throw anything out, do you? Okay? Everything. You don't throw anything out. You really don't. You think about how much food is thrown out. So, when you're throwing a lot of, you're going to have to go to the grocery store more often to replace it. So you are saving time in that way. Now, if it's for the income opportunities, someone said, I'd like to take a look at shit, but I just don't have the time. My question to them is, how much time do you think it will take? And usually they're going to say, well, I can't spend 5 or 6 hours a day. And you can say, that's great. Most people start this while doing a full-time job and pockets of time in their schedule. And one of the ways that you can help people to do that is to say, just download or print out a week at a glance, and then block out all the non-negotiable times in your weekly schedule. So block out all the times where you're working. You can't change that. Block out meal times, family times. If you go to church, block out that time. You can't do the business at that time. Block out the clubs that you belong to. You cannot, those are non-negotiable. Block out those. And what will happen then is, what will appear is certain little pockets of time. It could be half an hour here, a couple of hours there, 1 hour there, 3/4 of an hour another place. And cumulatively, you'll be amazed at how much time we have in our day. And it's important to know that people who are pushed for time usually need the time freedom the most. And I love this that chart that Brock posted in the Happy Fit and Free group recently. At the beginning of your Isagenix journey, you tend to spend a lot of time and you get very little money back. That's the truth. It's hard work, okay? But as time goes on, you don't have to spend so much time to get more and more money. Does that make sense to you? Okay? So at the very beginning, you put a lot of time and effort in, not on your own, because you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. We're with you. And you don't get much of return. It doesn't seem to. Although, $60 for doing, for the cycles is just, that's an amazing amount. That's more than some people get an hour working a full-time job. Okay, so that's something to bear in mind, that does change over period. Thanks, Mark. Now, objection, the pyramid scheme. Is it one of those pyramid schemes? And you see, unfortunately, because when we draw out our organization, it does look like a pyramid. But because something looks like a pyramid doesn't make it a pyramid scheme. If you look at this could be any organization. It could be Air Canada. It could be the hospital. Let's quote you. The CEOs at the top, managers, supervisors, and all of the employees at the bottom. And in a corporate company, all the people at the bottom are doing the work and the person at the top is raking in the money. And that has been the old objection against the network marketing. The reality is that it's the opposite. The reality is that you are at the top and Mary is at the top of our organization. You are the CEO of your company and Marla here is at the top of her organization. So, pyramid schemes, I'll post this as well. It's a really good idea to say, well, what is it, when you say, is this one of those pyramid schemes, can you tell me more about that? And then you can use the words feel, felt, found. Listen to what their understanding is so you can then respond with, feel, felt, found. I know how you feel, I felt the same, but what I found is this, and I'll post that on there. And it's not uncommon in Isagenix that an associate can out-earn the person who sponsors them. So if you could earn more than Mark and myself, and all of us could earn more than Brock, even though Brock is further on above us, because people will get paid for the work they do. It's the only truly democratic business model ever. Now, how long do I have to take these products? I think I don't want to be cut off. We are going to be cut off in a minute, so we'll continue with that next week at the same time, and then we'll get into actually the meat and potatoes of connecting. So I'm just going to quickly go. Be active in our Facebook groups. Just build energy there. So post your successes and what have you. But most of all,